everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of y'all that are new here, my name is Meredith, and I'm so glad that you stumbled upon this video. As y'all can tell by the title, today we are going to be talking about college advice, specifically for all of you sophomores in college out there. I think the upperclassmen need advice too, and looking back, I wish someone had given me advice about my sophomore year. So that's why I'm making this video today, and I also am planning to make a junior year advice video and a senior year advice video, so stay tuned for those if you are a junior or senior. Also, real quick, if you yourself are not a sophomore in college, but you know a sophomore in college, I would love if you could send them the link to this video and hopefully, share the love with them, spread the advice. Also, I want to mention that my brother, Davis, who has been featured in a couple videos before, he just finished his, well, I guess he didn't just finish, but in May, he finished his sophomore year of college, and so I actually called him the other day and asked him if he had any advice to add to this video. So some of these things are coming from him. Just wanted to give him credit and say shout out to Davis. Hi, Davis. Alright, so something that we both wanted to talk about was your major, because freshman year, a lot of people just go into college and say, oh yeah, I think this is going to be my major, that sounds like a good thing to me, and you don't really take any of your classes for your major freshman year, or at least most people don't. And so sophomore year, I think it's really important to sit down and truly consider what your major is and to figure out if that's actually what you want to do with the rest of your life. So start to question that, list out the pro cons, look at what all your school offers. Look at all the different majors and minors that they have and really figure out if that is the one that you want. Also, if you haven't declared a major yet, sophomore year, you probably should do that. Davis says that you should research your major rather than just looking at classes that you would be taking for it. You should actually talk to older people who are in that same major or talk to professors about it and really get more of an in-depth analysis of what that major is going to be like, because once you get to junior year, I've known people to switch their major junior year, but once you get to junior year, it's really hard to turn back because you've already taken so many classes and you're so deep into the major. So sophomore year is really when you need to make sure that you are in the right major for you. Also, don't be afraid to change your major sophomore year. I've known plenty of people to do that, but definitely just consider all your options and make sure you have the right one. And if you don't, go ahead and change it. The second thing that we both had on our advice list was to start thinking about jobs and internships. Well, let's just talk about internships for now. I feel like summer after freshman year, most people just move back home, take it kind of chill, have a casual summer job or do something like that. But the summer after your sophomore year is when I feel like most people start to get their first internships. Or some people even do that first or second semester of sophomore year. But sophomore year is definitely when you need to start looking at internships and deciding where you want this to be. Would you want to do one out of state or even out of the country the next summer, or do you want to do one near your school's campus in the spring? And if you can start lining up internships when you're a sophomore, you're going to be able to build up your resume so much more over time. I know it's hard because sophomore year, you might not be able to find a great internship that pays super well and has all these fun benefits and perks, but if you can find one just that's unpaid, that is with a good company or with something related specifically to your major, it's going to look really, really great on your resume. Davis also says that you should go to job fairs your sophomore year, and this is advice that I definitely should have taken because I didn't go to job fairs until my senior year when I was actually looking for a job. But going to job fairs is a great way to sort of prepare yourself for when you are a senior, because I'm telling y'all, they're kind of overwhelming. So if you can start going as a sophomore and just walking around, you don't even have to bring your resume, you don't have to apply to any jobs, just go and acclimate yourself with that kind of environment. Go to the job fairs that your school offers or that are in your city. Going along with that, finding internships, I also would highly recommend that you start considering your summer options, because summers in college are just, they're the best, and you really only get three, summer after freshman year, after sophomore year, after junior year, and then you're just kind of turned loose into the wild world. And there are so many cool opportunities for college students that you can take advantage of on your summer breaks, and a lot of those will fill up before spring semester even. So fall semester, definitely start considering what you want to do over the summer, because you could find a cool internship, you could work at a cool summer camp, you could travel abroad, which is my next point. Start considering study abroad options. Most people I know study abroad or studied abroad after their sophomore year or going into their junior year just as an upperclassman. So start considering study abroads if that's something that you are interested in, because at least at my school, they filled up really, really fast when the sign up came out. I studied abroad the summer after my sophomore year and really, really loved it. To sum all of that up, start considering your summer options, whether that be internships, jobs, traveling, study abroad, all of the things, start considering those, because once you get into the school year, life just gets crazy. Planning for those things can be hard, but if you do it far in advance, I think it's very helpful. The next piece of advice is from Davis, and I totally agree with it. He says that you should keep trying to make new friends. And I know a lot of people think that you're gonna make all your friends freshman year and then not really meet anyone new because you have your defined groups, but I met so many of my close friends sophomore, junior, and even going into senior year. So don't think that like you're stuck in your friend groups and that you can't move around or meet new people, because you totally can. And I would encourage you to, because as a sophomore, you're probably gonna be involved in new things and you're gonna have these different classes. And so if you can sort of get out of your bubble and meet new people, I think that's an awesome thing. Next tip that I have is that you should always be capturing memories, taking lots of pictures and videos, and if you are into it, you should journal, because I talked about this in a couple of my last videos. I started journaling senior year and really loved it, and I wish that I had started it earlier because it's such a cool way to like look back on memories and to just like take note of everything. So don't forget to capture those memories, because it's gonna be a fun year and you're not gonna wanna forget it. Next thing Davis says is that you should study harder because your classes are harder. I think for most people, this is very applicable because freshman year you're in like just the general classes that you're required to take. They're going to get harder sophomore year for sure. Don't think that freshman year was all easy and sophomore year is gonna be the same, because you gotta study. And that's the reason why we go to college, to study. And the last thing that Davis said is that you should go ahead and find a good place to live your junior and your senior year. And I totally agree with that. Personally for me, sophomore year was not my favorite year of college at all, mostly due to the fact that I had a pretty negative living situation on campus and just had some difficult roommates, we'll put it that way. And so that kind of defined my whole sophomore year, because that is where I was living and what my life looked like every day, and it was just not fun. Davis, on the other hand, loved his roommates this past year, had such a fun year, but he's still being intentional to make sure that junior and senior year he is living with people that he will also enjoy spending time with. And that's something that, looking back to my junior and senior year, I think that's definitely why I enjoyed junior and senior year so much more, is because I had amazing roommates who were some of my best friends. As soon in advance as you possibly can, I would recommend that you start figuring out your roommates. If you're not happy in your roommate situation, start asking around to your friends to make sure that junior and senior year you will be in a great living situation, because I really think that that makes all the difference. So like I just mentioned, sophomore year honestly was pretty rough for me. It was probably my least favorite year of college, looking back on it, and I think the majority of that was due to my living situation, but also some of it was due to my major and like trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I think that sophomore year can be super overwhelming, because you're like, okay, I'm not a freshman anymore, nobody's gonna baby me, but I'm also not an upperclassman, and nobody is gonna like take me super seriously yet because I'm still a youngin and I don't really have that much experience. And so that was really hard for me to figure out. So sophomore year was tough. Definitely went through the sophomore slump. But I hope that all of you out there watching this have an amazing sophomore year if you were about to go into your sophomore year. And if you're not about to go into your sophomore year, it's really nice of you to be watching this video anyways. But just stay strong, stay positive, surround yourself with good people, and try to enjoy as many moments as possible. I know that not everything's gonna be great, but try to enjoy it while it lasts, because soon you'll be graduated, looking back, missing sophomore year. That is all the advice I have for you sophomores out there. If anyone watching this video has any advice for sophomores, please comment that down below. We would all love to hear it, I'm sure. And again, if you have any friends that are about to be sophomores, send them this video. Hopefully it'll be helpful to them. But I love you guys. Again, good luck to all you sophomores out there and everyone else going back to school. Hope it's a great year for all of you. And I will talk to y'all in my next video. Bye!